Top 10 facts you must know about Conor McGregor. There's no other name in mixed martial arts more recognized and celebrated than Conor McGregor. His feats of accomplishments in just little over a decade have earned him his well-deserved nickname, The Notorious. The fact that he's been compared to the likes of great legends such as Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson speaks to his abilities in the mixed martial arts profession. Although he's earned himself the title of Notorious, there are facts about him that aren't as nearly as mainstream as his trash talking is. Welcome to MMA Action. This is the top 10 every die-hard Conor McGregor fan should know. Number 10. Conor was bullied as a child. It's almost impossible to believe that McGregor, one of the biggest draws in the history of combat sports, used to be a punching bag for his neighborhood bullies when he was little. As a young lad, he would get picked on a whole lot, owing to his small size and lean physique. Growing up in Dublin, he had a rough time dealing with bigger kids and would always feel unsafe and exposed on the streets. In an interview, he admitted that he used to carry around a steel dumbbell in his school bag, prepared to deal with the trouble with a swift blow to the face. In the same interview, he recalled that he never really had any interest in combative sports back then, and that the only reason he trained was to stand up to his bullies. Number 9. McGregor lived off of welfare checks. Prior to his big break in 2013, Conor McGregor used to live on welfare checks from the Irish government. Just before he defeated Marcus Brimage in a UFC match that was awarded Fight of the Night and earned McGregor a $60,000 payday, he had collected a welfare check that amounted to just 186 euros. The story serves as a reminder of Conor's humble origins and as an inspirational tale of resilience and grit on McGregor's part. Number 8. He was a plumber. Speaking of humble beginnings, Conor used to be an apprentice to a plumber. That's right, the Notorious made a living doing plumbing jobs before he pursued a serious career in mixed martial arts. He did plumbing as a side gig to put food on the table, and eventually sidelined his apprenticeship to train even harder in combat sports. Needless to say, the career shift paid off well for him. Number 7. Conor's crazy about his suits. After his spotlight match against Marcus Brimage, McGregor was asked what would he do with the $60,000 prize, and he said he'd spend it on some nice pairs of custom-made suits. McGregor is quite extravagant when it comes to maintaining a posh, fashionable image. In sharp contrast with other MMA fighters at promotional events, McGregor stands out well, dressed in his chic and stylish custom-made suits. According to some estimates, he pays between $4,000 to $10,000 for each of his suits. This totals to around $70,000 for a typical media tour, in which he orders multiple suits tailor-made for the occasion. Number 6. Conor keeps lanky bodyguards around. Back in 2016, Conor went public with a serious problem he had with people sending him death threats. He responded by hiring a team of security personnel that accompanied him 24/7 in public. Given that he's only doubled down on his brazen trash talking, it'd be safe to assume that the threats continue to harass him to this day. 4 years since 2016, Conor still keeps his security team around, further attesting to speculations around his safety concerns. Number 5. McGregor's a huge soccer football fan. Like every other Irish lad his age, McGregor loved football and grew up with fantasies of becoming a football player. Before he pursued a serious career in MMA, McGregor actually played amateur football as part of a football club, and according to his former coach for the Yellowstone Celtic, he was an exceptional striker. Conor takes a lot of pride in his past as an amateur football player. In a tweet that dates all the way back to 2013, he proclaimed, "I was a goal machine." Just imagine for a second, Conor as a professional football player. What a wildly different career path would that have been? And given his temperament and the patience he has for media reporters pestering, that'd be a whole other show in of itself. Number 4. McGregor publicly supports gay marriage. Although The Notorious is mostly recognized for his trash talking, he's been on the record multiple times about supporting same-sex marriage. Back in 2015, when Ireland was having a referendum about the legalization of same-sex marriage, Conor made a tweet urging his followers to vote yes. Conor's been pretty vocal about his support for the LGBT, much to the dismay of some of his more strictly Catholic fans. Number 3. He was approached to be a Bond villain. The Notorious has been offered many opportunities to work in Hollywood. At one point, he was in talks to appear fighting the iconic villain in 2018's film Predator by Shane Black, an offer he declined because of conflicts with his UFC schedules, and also said that the paycheck offered wasn't worth the hassle. McGregor was even speculated to appear in an episode of Game of Thrones back in 2017. He was most notoriously offered to audition for the role of a Bond villain in 2015's Bond film Spectre, alongside Daniel Craig. McGregor didn't pursue the role, stating a role as serious as Bond villains is not a good fit for his personality. Number 2. His fastest knockout. Contrary to the popular belief, Conor McGregor's fastest knockout wasn't actually in his UFC match with Jose Aldo, a fight that lasted a total of 13 seconds. His fastest knockout was in fact a match outside UFC, in Immortal Fighting Championship 2011 against Paddy Doherty. In that fight, Conor managed to oust Patrick in just 4 seconds with 2 swift jabs to the face. Because the fight didn't take place in UFC, it wasn't as prestigious of a moment for the Notorious as when he floored Jose Aldo in the UFC's octagon, and as such, is less known among the fans of MMA. Number 1. McGregor won a fight with a torn ACL. During his match with Max Holloway at the UFC Fight Night, Sonnen vs. Shogun, it was revealed post-match that McGregor had suffered a severe ACL injury. Conor reported having said that he heard a loud pop come from his leg, followed by intense pain. Conor was visibly hurt and stumbling across the mat. Nevertheless, he powered through his injury and won the fight by decision.